Hello everybody, this is another 6-minute video. This is where I talk about a random topic for 6 minutes in front of a camera and a microphone, completely unscripted. Now, the point of these is not for likes, views, subscribers. If you did subscribe, I would not mind. I'm not trying to get famous or anything though. The real point of these is my personal progression at becoming a great public speaker. I want my speech to become more efficient, I want to get rid of filler words, and I want to get rid of the stuttering. I don't really have a stuttering problem, but it does happen. I want to do one of these videos every single day for the rest of this year. So publishing a 6-minute video every single day for the rest of this year and probably beyond that, because I'll be honest, I do like doing these. It's a passion project of mine. With that being said, let's get right into the video. And this goes back to my childhood. I had a great childhood in my opinion. Not boasting or anything, but I had an Xbox One growing up, a little bit later than most kids, but that Xbox One had 2 games on it. Halo Master Chief Collection and Forza 2016 Motorsport. Great games, great games. When I grew older, I appreciated Forza Motorsport more, which is very disappointing for me to see that they have since canceled that series. Like that whole franchise that they kept going, the gritty, realistic, for the pros, people that are obsessed with like realistic racing, they have canceled it, unfortunately. And I don't know why. They said the player base is a little bit too small. In my opinion, I don't think that's justifying canceling the whole franchise. I think releasing some a little bit farther apart is much more of a play, because I don't think having that game and having so many engineers being they put their time into that and effort and to make everything so realistic, it is a waste to not capitalize more on that kind of racing. I feel like people, as the years go through, it ebbs and flows. People like racing games and they move a little bit more to the first-person shooter games, third-person shooter games, and the open world, battle royale, right? It ebbs and flows. Things come into focus, out of focus, and the player base shifts its sentiment about the games and certain game types. But unfortunately, Microsoft has been making some really, really bad decisions as of late, and Xbox has only been one of them, right? You guys here know that, if anyone here owns an Xbox, some people own PlayStation, and holy crap, PlayStation, I have my qualms with them right now as well. I was handing my crown to PlayStation until suddenly they said, well, we're just about removed 500 digital movies off of PlayStations without anyone's consent, and just poof, gone. No money back, just license ended. The movies that you owned, you rented basically, are now gone. Now all these people have to buy these movies again, and with nothing to show for it. Like it's just terrible. I was about to hand them my crown, but then they did that kind of crap. So I don't know where to hold it. I can't give it to Nintendo because Nintendo sues anybody for even mentioning, dare I say, Mario's name. They're coming after me now. What can I do? This whole video is going to get copyrighted and it's going to get taken down. I'm going to get swatted. Just kidding, of course. But Xbox raising their their Game Pass prices to absurd amounts. Like just I think it was $30 a year, $30 a month, I'm sorry, $30 a month for a Game Pass? You're joking me. Of course, that's not the most expensive tier, and yes, people are blowing it a little bit out of proportion, but who's going to pay that much for Game Pass? It was convenient. It was worth it. It was a good value. Now it's, are you in your right mind if you're paying for that? It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. It does cover getting into games earlier, I think, Microsoft exclusives, whatever, not worth it in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Please make your own. They increased their game prices. What else? The games that they've been putting out have been some of the worst ever. Nothing comes to mind at the moment, but actually, let's see what they came out with as of late. Yeah, the Halo Master Remastered Remake. I've heard some pretty bad things about it. Steam reviews says it all, mixed reviews. Graphics, great. Like, that's pretty good, but you don't need, you know, you don't need good game engineers to make good graphics. And that's something that I think that Microsoft right now is lacking, is actually good gaming engineers. They can't make a good game, right? This game came out 25 years ago, right? Let me remind you, 25 years ago, Halo came out in 2001. I enjoyed it when on my Xbox One. Here, let's rewind a little bit. When I was young with my brother, I played through the Halo Master Chief Collection. And then I played Halo 5, and then I played Halo Infinite when it came out. I love the series. That is a different video topic, but it was such a defining moment in my childhood to play through the first 3 Halo games. And Halo 4, I will give it its props. I think people give Halo 4 such a bad rap, but it was pretty revolutionary at the time for its gameplay. And Halo 5, the multiplayer was quite ahead of its time. Well, before its time, let me say. But it was good. It was good. Halo 5's multiplayer was pretty on the point. But anyway, besides the point. But I played the Halo Remaster CE, and I can't remember what year it was, but it was a defining moment in my childhood where I played through that campaign, and it was the most magical thing I've ever experienced. Out of any game that I have played, there's nothing quite like experiencing walking through the forest on the second Halo mission on Halo 1. It was so good. It was so good. I can't define it. Words can't express just how good those missions were. And them remaking it is such a good idea in my opinion. But unfortunately, they lack so many original ideas that the only thing that Microsoft can really do at this point is just do remakes. Original IP still exist. I mean, technically they don't exist, but you can still go out and make your own original idea, and you can still make an original IP. You just don't want to do that, Microsoft. You're afraid of the money inflow. You're afraid of people not wanting to try something new. You need to tone it back, scale it back, make smaller teams. That's beside the point. But to watch Halo go from such a beloved franchise, right? Bungie and their massive run with Halo Reach, from Halo CE to Halo Reach, so legendary. So legendary. I don't think any other gaming team has done that since. Maybe Blizzard back in its old days. They were on a roll. They are just hammering it home every single time. Every single time. Like, Halo 2's graphics, I think, were worse than Halo 1's because it was such a hit that they rushed through making that game. And holy crap, they made the same kind of story even better. Like, they built upon it. They deepened characters. And Halo 3 hit it all home. It's one of the best trilogies of all time, next to Lord of the Rings, right? And playing through those series was amazing. And the first time I played Halo 4 was after playing through all those, right? Except for Reach. I didn't touch Reach for a long time, but I'll get to that. Halo 4, I stepped into it and I was like, wow. It was like I had been 10 years old in 2001 and gone and grew up with the franchise within the months of me 100%ing these games. I played the absolute living crap out of these Halo games because it was the only 2 games I had, was the Forza and Halo. And I went through the campaign, experienced it to its full, and I felt like I grew up with the franchise going through. And I know that's crazy to say, but I did. I really did. And when I stepped into Halo 4, I felt like at 14, 10 years old, I can't remember, I felt like I had turned 30. I felt like 20 years had passed, and the franchise that I knew and loved, that I had just cherished, like going through them, I just, like, nothing else had come close to this. I felt like I had waited 20 years when I played Halo 4. Just, I was old. Nothing was the same like it was before. I was uncomfortable going through the first level of that campaign. I was uncomfortable with it. I wasn't sure if I liked it or not. At one point I was like, I definitely don't like this. And at another point I was like, well, they did improve upon this. But at the end of the day, when I was playing through that, I did not feel at home. I didn't feel like I wanted to play that game. And whether or not that was the reaction that the producer was trying to elicit from me was, we want this Halo 4 game to be an uncomfortable, just, you're not where you're supposed to be game right now. Because that's what I felt like playing the whole campaign. And that's kind of follows the story, right? Through a scary kind of storyline where your best friend, your co-pilot throughout the entire campaign, mind you, just is like in danger of disappearing, or even worse, becoming someone that they're not. It's like becoming like someone with dementia, right? That's even scarier than death, in my opinion. Is someone that you know can look at your face and not see any resemblance for someone that they knew. So it was tackling a pretty tough topic. Not that the other campaigns didn't, but there wasn't a realistic aspect to it like Halo 4. It was there's a realistic analogy to real life with it, and that was scary. That was off-putting to me. But anyway, Halo and Microsoft have not been doing great recently. And I hate to say that, right? It's one of my favorite franchises ever. But you see the progression of Microsoft acquiring it with Halo 4, I believe. And then, okay, they did something different with Halo 4. Not a fan, but in my opinion, it pushed the franchise in a way that it was healthily supposed to go. And Halo 5, absolutely rejected by the fans. People did not like that. And absolutely so. The campaign, crap, right? You don't put, with PlayStation, with God of War, you don't put the main character in a weak spot. You just don't. When you have a main character as legendary as the Chief, you don't put, what is his name, Kratos. You don't put Kratos with a broken arm. The scene, sorry for spoilers, but you really should play it. The scene with the broken helmet, that broken helmet shattered the image of the Chief. And that was no good. That, like, hands down, if Bungie had the reins there, that would have never entered the office. That would have never happened. But Microsoft, for some reason, said, this icon, our icon of Xbox, we are going to put him against these newbie Spartans and lose. He didn't lose the fight, but he lost. He lost his image. Everything that the Chief stood for as an indestructible, immovable object, he lost. I can't wrap my head around this decision that Microsoft did. The whole game should be retconned and removed from the series, in my opinion. It didn't serve anything. I loved playing as an elite. I loved the gameplay. I loved how it felt, the game. People might disagree with me on that, but it felt good. But the story was absolute crap. I don't know. It would just be like Kratos. I mean, let's say Kratos gets beats up all the time, right? But here's the thing. He always wins in the end, right? He has this unmistakable aura to him that when he gets mad, he gets crazy. He gets absolutely destructive. But it didn't happen with the Chief the same way. They didn't write it well. It was a bad scene. The scene should have never taken place. Shaking my head at Microsoft right now. Anyway, moving on. Watching their management of Halo from Halo 4, okay. Halo 5, no good. And then Halo Infinite, absolute, utter dumpster fire. Shameful, just marketing ploys. It aged like curdled milk. It was not good, not good. You had two producers leave the, what do you call it? The gaming, not engine, the gaming group. You had two producers come in and leave during the game's production. How does that happen? At Infinity Ward, I think is what it is. Not Infinity Ward, that's Call of Duty. But at Microsoft 343 Studios, I don't remember. But you had two executives, producers, come in and leave during production of Halo Infinite. That is unprecedented. That is so telltale signs that this game is going to flop. Because if they're leaving, they're setting the workspace, they're looking at the game and they're like, wow, the fans are really not going to like that. I don't know if they were smart. I don't know if they were dumb, but they're leaving this position from a game from one of the biggest companies in the world making with one of the biggest IPs in the world. That should never be happening. It was such a sign that they're mismanaging their product and they're not being true to the fans. And it came out, no split screen. The main thing that Halo is known for, and it's like, that's what their thing is. It's couch co-op. No, it just wasn't there. Like, oh, we're promised it's going to come later. We promise. Didn't happen. Where is it? Well, it got canceled. And supposedly it's not even working on the remaster as well. That's just what I heard. I don't own the game. I'm not paying $50 for a game that came out 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Don't get me wrong. It's good. One of my favorite games ever. But all they did was update the textures and added some few things, but you know, it's not a new game. It's by far not a new game. Anyway, seeing their mismanagement of Halo Infinite has really drove home to me that Microsoft can't handle their IPs. They need to, I don't know, find a group that's actually passionate, pay them a ridiculous amount of money because you don't pay for people with talent. People with talent pay with their time. It's an unfortunate cycle where people that are passionate about something, that's why the open source community exists. People that are passionate about something will basically just do it for free. They'll do it on their free time and make an amazing project for free, you know? And if something's a problem in their life, they'll just set aside blocks of their time just doing it, you know? Whether that's making AnyDesk alternatives, whether that's making streaming services, whether that's making like Linux distributions, whatever. People just do it for free and they do it for fun. You need to find these people that are going to do it for free and do it for fun and put them on Halo. People that are passionate about forgers, right? People forge on Halo all the time and they're really, really good at it. You need to bring these people in. You need to bring the people that actually care about the game and pay them for their time. Pay them the same way that you're going to bring in actual certified people doing it, because of certified people, and well, I don't even know if they're certified. They're probably hiring based on their community and inclusive standards, which is why these games have gone to crap. They're not hiring based on certifications. They're not hiring based on qualifications. They're hiring based on skin color, gender, and just things that don't matter about Halo. When you're making a game, it doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter what gender you are. If you're good at making the game, who cares? You're good at making the game, you get paid, and make a good product that people are going to buy. That's how it works. It's not you get a job because you're, a certain shade of color. Doesn't matter. It disgusts me. It really does. But you see the forgers, you see that they might not even have a degree, but you see the stuff that they're putting out on Halo Infinite. It's just like, why are these people not hired at Microsoft? Why are the people that are so passionate about the game that they're putting out more quality content than the actual game team themselves? you got to ask yourself these questions. Like, why? What is happening? What is happening there? Why can't they get their crap together? I just don't know. That's a 20-minute video. Thank you for watching. See ya.